Man, we have a lot to talk about here, Kenzo, with everything that's been going on. Stocks have
Mm.
had a big slide here recently. Um, Tariff stuff getting kind of the market all worked up. I'm wondering your thoughts on this because, of course, we had the inflation data that came in pretty much in line with expectations. But we've had, like I said, a very big drop in stocks here in recent days. Do you think that this is a buy the dip opportunity, or do you think stocks have more room to the downside?
I can say it's 50-50. I think we've been actually on the overbought side for quite long now.
Hmm.
So remember, the market started to go aggressively high when Trump started to win, I think from November, December there last year. So we stayed there for a quite long, and the market never reversed that much. So I think now maybe there is profit taking. We just had the Nvidia earnings, which were not really bad,
Hmm.
but actually there are challenges, especially from China. So it shows that the road going further is not going to be as easy as we thought, especially on the AI side. But for the stocks, especially indices, I think we were overbought, and actually the market has to reverse here and there so that we can actually easily buy on the lower side. But if it
Yeah.
continues like that, it means maybe there is more.
Yeah, no, I actually, when you take a look at the weekly chart, it definitely has had a pretty incredible winning streak. In
Mm,
terms of, as you mentioned, perhaps on the longer term time frame, it's gotten a little bit overbought. I think we're in the process of maybe starting to work that off. But as you mentioned, long-term overbought means that in the short run we could have some bigger pullbacks, and maybe those are bigger kind of long-term pullbacks that could be opportunities for traders who have missed out a lot of the run here to the upside. That's my opinion on it, at least. I did also want to
mm,
just bring up a chart here, Kenzo, for us to chat about for a moment. I mentioned this, maybe you saw it or maybe you didn't, just shortly before you joined. Um, Back in 2018 and 2019, when the tariff concerns were really kind of hitting the markets back then, we did see the stock market make a corrective move of over 20%. That's a pretty
mm,
big sell-off. And the reason I think that I'm kind of with you on the 50-50 stay cautious, stay patient side is if we scroll to today, what you can see is that we've only worked off about 4 to 5% from the peak.
mm,
So my concern here is that this time around, Trump is seemingly more aggressive on tariffs with China, with the EU, with the UK, Canada, Mexico. He's going after China. He's also going after a lot of our allies. So, my question here, and if those things ultimately resolve, as I think they probably will, there will probably be some negotiations. There will be some good news at some point. I do think that
mm.
is in the longer term not going to crash the market forever, but in the short run, maybe there is some room to get to a 10%, a 15%. Those are very normal pullbacks in the long term. We look at the weekly chart. There are many instances in bull markets where you get 10, 20% pullbacks, and the market can still recover just fine. But to think that we couldn't have more downside from here, I think would be a little naive. I think it is not certain either direction, but perhaps there is a little bit more correction that we have to do. I don't know. We'll see.